everybody, and welcome back to the Fairy Tale family, where our goal is to infuse a little bit of magic into your daily lives. So today's magic is taking on the form of cleaning. I know, hear me out. Cleaning is not necessarily what you think of when you think of our brand or this idea of Disney and magic, but one of the most magical things about Disney is its cleanliness. So I wanted to start applying that to our own home, and I know that cleaning videos are not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I personally find them super satisfying to watch someone like clean and tidy a space, and that's what I'm going to be doing for you here today. I'm a teacher, so I always take the first few days of summer to do a fairly deep clean of the house. I am a really hyper-organized person. I like cleaning, I know. I don't mind tidying, organizing, and cleaning. I really like a clean space. And that's why I'm doing this, because I'm hoping to give you tips or tricks or perhaps walk you through what I'm doing so that if you'd like to replicate it, to find that your space is tidy and clean and you can walk into it and do whatever your heart desires because you don't have to worry about the mess. Like, this is the Marie Kondo effect. And if you haven't read her book or watched the Netflix special, highly recommend. It actually really motivated me to get to some spaces that I didn't want to throughout this past year. So I tend to deep clean my house 3 times a year. Of course, it could stand to be deep cleaned more. I mean, we do have a 3-year-old, but I get to it the first few days of summer, definitely before the holidays because we host a lot. And then if we're not going anywhere for spring break in April, I will also do a deep clean. It takes me about 1 full day, or as you'll see in the case of this video, 3 separate 3 to 4 hour chunks. It does not have to take this long, but I don't leave any dust unturned, if you will. I'm also going to show you at the very end of this video what I do to our general everyday space. That takes about 10 minutes in the morning. So that way the house stays in pretty good shape. And I do tend to clean it once a week on the weekends. And I'm hoping that in the near future, we can kind of outsource that. I would just so much rather like to spend that time with my family. And the whole reason behind this magical cleanliness is so that when you enter your space, you can do what you plan to do. I am a person that if I enter a space and there's a mess, I tend to become really frazzled and need to clean that mess up before doing whatever I was supposed to do. Example, when I was in 1st grade, I tried to call my mother from the nurse's office and tell her that I was sick because I hadn't color-coded my socks in the morning. I know. I realize that that's extreme. I feel like my child is very similar. And while I'm not at that level anymore, I do need to make my bed, leave my home clean in the morning so that when I come home and I want to play with Callie or make dinner or write or do whatever my heart desires, pack something for the beach, that I'm not thinking wherever I am doing that activity, I have to go home after this and clean up. So that's the explanation for why I think this fits into the idea of our brand. So we're going to get started. We're going to parcel this out. I started in the kitchen because, like every home, the kitchen is where we spend the most time. We have stools up by the island, which you'll see. We eat breakfast there. And then that's where Callie and I do a lot of activities. And of course, it's where we bake. So the kitchen needs a lot of love, and extra stuff ends up in the kitchen to begin with. So we're starting with the kitchen, we're moving to the bathroom, and then we're kind of taking everything in a general sense. I also wrote a blog post about this that I will link below that's going to walk you through literally in a number format, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bulleted, step by step what I'm doing so that way you can follow along and do it at home as well. So let's get into it. Okay, so in the kitchen, the first thing I've done before I actually start this, and what you can see here, is that I have removed all things that don't belong in the kitchen space. So I do that for every room I clean first, is I take just a laundry basket or a bag, and I put everything into it that does not belong. Then I can actually start cleaning. I'm taking out my cleaning products here. I am loading up the dishwasher, and I'm giving the sink a good scrub down with a Mr. Clean white sponge, because we do have a white porcelain sink that needs some extra love and attention. I'm switching out our hand soap. The soap we currently have now is awesome. It smells like the beach. And then you will see me moving to clean out the pantry. Prior to filming this video, I did clean out the pantry, and I took out all of the expired items and tossed them, and then I put everything I knew we were not going to consume into a bag, and by the time you are watching me film this video, that bag's been dropped off to our local service center. The next piece here is that you're going to see me dusting everything. So this includes the tops of cabinets, light fixtures, all of the things that you may also not see get dusted here. I do the baseboards, absolutely everything, and I love the extended Swiffer handle for that. I think it's really helpful. The last piece you'll see in this clip is that I am individually sanitizing and polishing every single knob that we have in the kitchen. Knob, pulley, drawer, whatever, they all get wiped down one by one. There is a piece of the kitchen you can't see here, so this does take a little bit longer time-wise, but it's one of those deep cleaning steps that normally I would not necessarily go to besides wiping the cabinet face down. So what you can't see from several days ago is that I actually cleansed the whole stove. This is one of those deep cleaning things that I do not look forward to. Cleaning the oven, yes, I get it. It self-cleans, but it still kind of stinks, and you have to stay at home and make sure the house is ventilated. But then taking the grates off and taking that fan off, or the vent that holds the fan up, probably doesn't hold the fan up. But it gets filthy. So I did scrub all of those, and I did individually wash the grates and underneath. I am showing you the homemade mix paste that I'm using here, that I found really works and is super simple. So I'm showing you this little bowl. Inside the bowl, it has equal parts baking soda and water to make a little paste. Now, you can use less water to make it thicker, and a couple of drops of citrus essential oils, which makes it smell awesome. You just dribble this all over your stovetop and then go back with paper towels and wipe it up, and it takes away all the grease and all the nasty that's living on your stove. So that's what you're first seeing me do here, is kind of just going back and forth, scrubbing. And I try not to leave any piece out, including the burners here, so that I'm absolutely getting everything. Now, the bummer here is that this does not stay clean really for that long because we use it. I'm also wiping down the front of the stove, and then I went back and did the front of the microwave as well. Okay, so now it's time to tackle the floors. The floors are technically Mark's job. Remember that? But I do like to give them a once over. I don't like when our house feels humid, and the floors to me feel like there's a humid film on them. I know that's probably crazy, but we walk around barefoot. We don't do shoes in the house. So there's a lot of feet on the floor, and the moment it starts to feel that yuckiness, I have to clean it up. So here what you're seeing is dusting. I'm sweeping everything off of the hardwood, and I've moved the stools back so that I have more space to really get in there. So after we Swiffer Wet Jet, which is perhaps my favorite tool because it really cleans everything up, and we have the hardwood insert, then the kitchen is looking pretty good. Everything goes back to where it was. Nothing is currently in the kitchen that doesn't belong. Love. Kitchen, day one, done. So let's talk about bathrooms. So the first thing I do when I go into the bathroom, besides, I've moved everything out that doesn't belong, although the bathroom doesn't tend to have a lot of clutter, is that I let a solution sit in the toilet. So you can let it sit up to 10 minutes. I typically don't let it sit that long, but I start by pouring my Castille soap into the toilet. I've already pre-made a mixture inside the bottle. I put that into the toilet, and then I go around and I spritz down the shower, the tub, and then of course the vanity. So that's where I'm starting, just so that way I can let things kind of clean themselves as much as possible before I have to put my hand into that toilet, which has to be done. Again, I'm using my favorite scent here for the summer, which right now is Lilac, and it's almost gone, but it's my Mrs. Meyer's cleaning product, and I am using this to do some spraying down of the other surfaces. So Callie wanted to help me, which, as we all know, when your children want to help you clean, I really want to encourage that, but it definitely ends up being more of a hindrance than a help, at least for Callie. She's 3, she wants to help. She makes great piles when she sweeps. She's not so great at scrubbing sinks. So while all of the products are sitting, I go back to the vanity, and that's where I take care of the sink, the knobs, the mirror itself. This is the area that gets the most love on a pretty regular basis. I clean this throughout the week, just wiping it down so it doesn't need as deep of a clean as everything else. Next, we move on to the tub. So Callie wanted to spritz more solution inside. Whatever, that's fine. I am taking, again, a Mr. Clean sponge, and I am using that on the tub. You can see here that our tub is a standalone, and she does get baths pretty regularly, and I love baths. So if we don't clean it out right away, it does get that ring around it pretty quickly. We do not use colored products in the tub, like those crayons that you can color on, or even like fizzies that you drop in and that they're colors. We strictly only use white because our tub does take saturation. So we're careful about that. But we do scrub the tub out. Callie helps. She puts the water on a little bit, and then we're using that to rinse out. In the shower, I found this tool by Rubbermaid that allows you to clean the grout. Now this is another one of those things that I just hate doing. And we have hard water, so it can leave like this red residue in the grout. And that is what I'm currently tackling. This took me about 45 minutes to clean out the grout in the shower. It definitely looks good, but it is only a matter of time. And in the meantime, I'm encouraging my family to shower in the outdoor shower to prevent this. It's just one of those things that's going to happen. We live on Cape Cod, that's our water. So the grout tool allows you to like scrub with a rubber tip so that you're not just scrubbing by hand. I thought that was super helpful. I am going back with more solution pretty much every time because I want it to be wet. And I started at the top and worked down, but you'll notice that the top tiles don't need a thorough grout clean because the water doesn't necessarily hit those in the same way. And lastly, I gave the toilet a clean. I did all of the floors the exact same way. I swept, I wet jet, and then I took the rugs out, the little area rugs, to be washed. So now we're moving into the larger space of the home. So this is what I do every day that prevents me from needing to deep clean the entire house regularly. Now you'll notice that the rooms I'm leaving out are like bedrooms, the hallway, ceiling fans. All of those details are actually in the blog. So again, that's listed down below, and it does walk you through the extra steps that I take to deep clean. But in general, every single day, I wake up, I fold up the blankets that Mark and I have left out from the night before. I put away anything that doesn't belong in the kitchen, like the glasses that we've left out from whatever we were drinking. Anything that doesn't belong in the living room, I redesignate to a new space. I tend to vacuum this area rug regularly. When we bought it, and I love it, but it shed like crazy for like 3 months, and I had to vacuum every single day. I actually thought it broke our vacuum cleaner and had to buy a new vacuum. It turns out I just didn't know how to change the filter. But the second vacuum cleaner now lives upstairs. So I do vacuum this pretty regularly, and I also vacuum like the front area of the house. We've been getting a ton of rain, so I'm also wet jetting that area because inevitably there are footprints when you first walk in. I wipe down the coffee table because it's made of glass, and then I move over to the kitchen, and as you can see, it's already accumulated some clutter. It's only been a week or so since the deep clean, so I again do the dishes, I clean off the countertops, and I just do my best to make sure that the kitchen is sprayed down. So that takes me about 10 minutes in the mornings, or, you know, when I'm working, I can do it in the afternoon too when I get home right away, and then my house is clean. So that concludes our summer cleaning routine video. I hope you found something helpful in here. I think the time lapse is really fun, and it definitely doesn't make this look as arduous as it is, but these spaces took me 3 days overall to do, but that does include the fact that I did Callie's room, I also did Callie's bathroom, I did our bedroom, and I did our closet space. So that was all compiled into that third day, but what was really heavy at first was the kitchen, then the bathroom. And I tend to like that working order where you start with the most intense and then get the least intense, and then it's all about monitoring it. So I do a weekly clean, and if you'd like to see that or you'd like a freebie on what I'm doing, let me know in the comments. I want to make content that you're interested in, and I hope this works for you. I hope you and your family are having a magical summer, and now you know how to deep clean your house so that you can enjoy the space to the best of your ability. Bye.